Well, it's happening again. Concerns about Donald Trump's health have gone viral over his swollen, bruised hands. It has now become a pattern. New picture goes viral. People start asking questions. What's going on with Trump's health? What's going on with Trump's hands? And we never get transparency. We never get answers that make any sense. And this is really less of a medical story than it is a story about transparency. Transparency that this administration said nobody would be able to exceed them in. So here's what happened. At the recent G7 summit in Canada, pictures showed the back of Trump's right hand discolored, which we've seen before, bruised, puffy, and partially seemingly covered in what looked like makeup. This isn't the first time. You might remember that this happened months ago. There was the campaign stops where it was noticeable, White House events. I think there was a UFC fight where it was noticed. The White House's explanation hasn't changed. He's just shaking too many people's hands. He's greeting so many supporters with such intensity that the strain is causing bruising. That's the story, but a lot of people aren't buying it. There's two reasons why people aren't buying it. Number one, very rarely would handshaking cause bruising there. If it's true that handshaking is causing bruising on that part of the hand, it must be because of either some underlying condition or medication, because it wouldn't be normal to have bruising and, by the way, now swelling of this kind just from shaking hands for someone without some condition or on some particular medication, which, of course, neither of which the White House has disclosed. So doctors looked at the pictures. The same sorts of ideas are being floated. Bruising from regular IV use. IV of what kind? We just don't know. Others have pointed to mild edema, which could be linked to vascular fragility, being on blood thinners, cardiovascular strain. Trump is 79. And there are certain situations in which this sort of bruising and swelling would be more common. What hasn't changed and what makes this different from the endless scrutiny over how Biden walked or how Biden talked is the lack of transparency. Trump has still never released complete medical records. His 2016 doctor's note said this would be the healthiest president ever. It was dictated by Trump himself. We've gotten updates since then that are either vague or sanitized or delivered through partisan documents. His supporters don't question it. Right-wing media barely bring it up. And they all look around and go, yeah, this guy's 6'3" and weighs 220 pounds or whatever he most recently claimed. But the signs keep appearing. Swollen hands, the gait issues, the slurred speech, the confusion, the memory issues. Sometimes it's dismissed. Sometimes it's brushed over with jokes or silence. We spoke to Gavin Newsom about why this is. He weighed in. He sees it the same way. But when a sitting president appears day after day with bruising, signs of possible medical treatments that haven't been disclosed, and we never get a clear explanation, of course it's logical to be asking questions. There could be an innocent explanation, could be nothing, could be minor. We don't know. But they're unwilling to actually say what it is that's going on. And what I keep going back to is it is shocking how little attention this gets from mainstream outlets. When Biden cleared his throat, sounded hoarse, or tripped, it was days of the news cycle. Entire segments built around whether he coughed too hard or paused too long. But Trump, who's now nearly 80, slurred speech, bruising, swollen hands, slowed gait, dragging the right leg, just barely a blip. So there's a collective silence from many of the same media voices that were breathlessly dissecting Biden's every move, tiptoeing around all of it with Donald Trump now. Tell me what you think is going on. These days, it is more important than ever for people to speak out, share your perspectives, and if you want to do it through video, check out today's sponsor, InVideo AI, which will help you communicate your ideas in full-length videos like I do, the kind of videos you've wanted to create in a completely seamless and intuitive way, regardless of your skill level. Type in your idea, the idea you want to create a video about, and that's it. It is a game changer. You can edit whatever you like using text commands like add my voice, make it funnier, change the B-roll. And unlike traditional video tools with very steep learning curves that solve only certain parts of the creation process, InVideo AI is really the creative partner you've always wanted. It removes the friction, puts you in the director's seat, lets users focus entirely on their vision and their idea. And InVideo AI does all the heavy lifting. You can try InVideo AI totally free. This will save you hundreds of dollars that you would otherwise spend on editing, animating, and production costs. Just go to davidpakman.com/video. The link is in the description.